Welcome to Dave C, straight from the pit. Dave C here. So for today's episode, we could talk about 1986, Beachhead. So released in 1986 and discontinued by 1988. Here is a Canadian card back, as you can see, and it doesn't have a real American hero written here underneath the G.I. Joe. So that's a teller that this is a Canadian card, because the American one would have that written under it. And of course, this lettering is the raised lettering, which is the 1986 to 1989 lettering. And it says Beachhead, Ranger. Hector Greedo art, of course, amazingly drawn and painted. Pretty much everything he did back then for G.I. Joe was just stellar, and this is no exception. I just love this realistic art painting that he did. And you can see that G.I. Joe decided to go with the digital explosion behind him for 1986. That explosion, of course, replaced the older one that was a regular type explosion. And at first, when I was a kid, I didn't really like the new explosion. But then I kind of warmed up to it. And I think especially for a guy like this, I think it looks great behind him. And that's one of the things about the new classified retro that they did. I really like that figure, and the card art's cool. But they didn't get the lettering right, because it was the old lettering. And as you can see here, this is the original Beachhead. It's supposed to be this newer lettering. And they also didn't get the explosion right on the package. The explosion is supposed to be digital, because this is digital. So whenever I see it, and I know I'm kind of picky, but yeah, whenever I see that classified retro Beachhead, I just don't like that they got the explosion wrong in the lettering. And I do like the art, though. And here's a photograph of it here. And yeah, but as you can see, it's a little bit different than the original packaging. And I think that if they're going to sell it as a quote-unquote retro, then it should look like a retro. But it doesn't. His figure is an excellent sculpt. As you can see, his crotch is broken. And this is the third one I've owned in my lifetime. I had the original in 86. And I really loved it. It was one of the best figures I ever got. And for 1986, he was my favorite figure. Him and Lowlight. But he was my number one for sure in 1986. But yeah, back to his midsection there. The original one I had, his crotch was intact. And I was also able to get a newer one in around 2000 and 2001. After I had gotten rid of my original kid one before I went to college. I gave it to my neighbors. But anyway, yeah, I was able to obtain another one, and his crotch was on there too. But when me and Shane started recollecting again, like in 2009 or 10 or so, we were going to cons and that, and it was having a hard time finding one with his intact. So I just got this one. But I'd like to get one, but I mean, I don't want to pay kind of the money sometimes that some of these people want. So I think I'm just going to wait on that one, or maybe just get one, just buy a midsection piece there and replace it. Yeah, when I saw him back then on the shelves, I just couldn't believe how cool he was, and he looked so realistic, like a saboteur, kind of like Firefly, with his face covering. And I just really liked that he was a Ranger, because Stalker, of course, is a Ranger, and he's my favorite G.I. Joe. So yeah, I just had to have this guy. And then I quickly realized that out of all the guys for 1986, it was pretty much just him and Lowlight that were maybe top tier. And I also liked Dialtone, but yeah, this guy was by far my favorite 1986 G.I. Joe. Some people say his head is too big for his body on this toy, but I don't think it is. I think it's in proportion. And I really like the sculpt. It's got kind of a serious face with the mask on. And the green color is great. I love his chest rig with the Wasp magazines in there. And I believe it's a 9mm. I'll have to check that. But it's a smaller round. When I was a kid, I didn't know that that red, what looks like a piece of cloth there, tucked on his shoulder, is actually a beret. And for classified, they elaborated on that, and they put beret in his package, which I do like that. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, that's what that red thingy is there on his shoulder. And he's got the 75th Ranger patch on his arm. He's got black gloves, brown and green camo pants, a K-bar type knife, combat knife. He's actually got a couple of them. He's got one down by his boot as well. And on the other side, he's got a 45 there, 1911. He's got some dynamite down by his boot on the bottom there. And there's a back. And you can see he's got his vest with his chest rig on the front. It's got an ammo pouch on the back there, or maybe binoculars or what have you. Yeah, I really like this figure. Came with this backpack and a Wasp machine gun and an ammo pouch with magazines for his Wasp. And I'm missing that. I thought I had it. I went and I looked in my accessories drawer there, but I couldn't find it. Maybe I accidentally vacuumed it up down here. I don't know, but I can't find it because I could have swore I had one. But anyway, here's a better look at his backpack. It's got a crossbow on it with arrows, a flashlight, another ammo pouch on the bottom, 2 more pouches on the side of his backpack. And here's the XF7 submachine gun, which is a 9mm. I just checked. And I really liked this machine gun as a kid. I remember seeing it in his package and wondering what it was. And here's a photo of it here from the maker. And I believe it's Demco. And it was kind of like a special missions type rifle, like a 9mm kind of submachine gun for like SWAT type stuff or things like that. And I think it came out like around 1982. But I don't know much about it, but it's a pretty cool gun. And I really liked having that gun as a kid and displaying him with his submachine gun. Here's his file card. And of course is a silver gray backing, not peach, because in 1986 they all had the silver gray backing. And this is a Canadian one, like I said. It says Tête de Pont right here, Beachhead. So, but that's French, and I don't really speak French, so yeah. Anyway, I thought I would read this Marvel version of it because it has more information, because it's American, and it has quite a few more words to say about Beachhead. And it's also easier to read than the tiny font on the Canadian file card. It says codename Beachhead, Ranger, file name Wayne R. Swedden, primary military specialty infantry, secondary military specialty small arms armor, birthplace Auburn, Alabama, grade E6. Beachhead was a lane instructor at the Ranger School in Fort Benning and an observer advisor at the Covert Ops School in Central America. He's meticulous, patient, and strong-willed. He likes getting up at 0500 hours to take a 10-mile run and PT session before breakfast. He enjoys squatting motionless beside a jungle trail for 3 days straight, waiting to ambush bad guys that might never show up. What he hates is people who aren't interested in doing their best. Qualified expert, all NATO Warsaw, pack small arms. Most folks will get mad on occasion, or at least get irritable. Not Beachhead. He thinks anger is a waste of time and energy. Rage clouds the vision and pollutes logic. Fury impairs judgment and makes you careless. The results of anger are totally unacceptable to Beachhead. He doesn't get angry, he gets even. He has a nice write-up in Bellamo's book, and it says that according to the DoD Dictionary of Military Terms, a beachhead is a designated area on a hostile or potentially hostile shore that when seized and held ensures the continuous landing of troops and material, and provides maneuver space requisite for subsequent projected operations ashore. This kind of sums up Beachhead's character personality. Potentially hostile, but steadfast and an integral important part of the G.I. Joe team. And it says down here that his original code names, prototype dossiers, were Cool, Ambush, and Mr. Bones. So he could have been named Cool. That would have been weird. Or Mr. Bones, another weird one. But they used Ambush later on for a figure. But yeah, just a great figure. And I'm happy that his name is Beachhead, because it's pretty cool. And just the figure, yeah, back then just blew me away on the pegs, I remember. And just really happy to have him in my collection. And I'm going to do some of the 86 vehicles and G.I. Joes coming up, because I haven't spent a lot of time talking about 1986, really. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And here he is here in the 1986 G.I. Joe catalog that came with all the vehicles that year. There he is. There he is there. So it says Beachhead Ranger. Just loved these catalogs as a kid, as I always talk about. He first appeared in the Sumbo animated series in Arise Serpento Arise, parts 1 through 5. And there he is there. You can see him on the back of this DVD box. He was great in G.I. Joe the movie, 1987 movie, and one of the stronger characters in that film. And he first appeared in Marvel's number 47, a May issue, that has him on Cobra Island. It's a great issue if you haven't read it. I'm sure most of you guys have. Yeah, he debuts in it with a wetsuit and some other 1986 Joes. And yeah, they're battling on Cobra Island with Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow joining forces for the first time. And they're wreaking havoc on Cobra Command. And I highly recommend getting this issue if anybody out there doesn't have it or hasn't read it. I'm going to show a little bit of his G.I. Joe commercial when his toy was first advertised on television. And here it is now.
This is it, the new G.I. Joe Devilfish on a high-speed recon mission.
There's Hawk, the Ninja Commander. That's Beachhead, the Ranger. And that's Wetsuit.
Devilfish has 2 torpedoes.
I went to get another G.I. Joe base. And that guy just cut me off. Kind of weird. Anyway, yeah, so I got the 83 G.I. Joe base that I have a few of, but the guy really had a good deal, so I wanted to go get it. And then it started snowing, and apparently we're supposed to get like 30 centimeters today and tonight. So it's been a good old-fashioned Canadian winter this year, and I kind of like that. As I was saying to my buddy Joe, kind of separates us from, you know, maybe southern states or different areas where they get the same weather, and we kind of stay hard and kind of tough instead of getting soft, maybe, because we gotta, you know, deal with these conditions, and kind of teaches us to be a little tougher. And I always enjoyed that growing up as a Canadian, having really cold winters like this, lots of snow. So back in the pit now, and kind of relieved to be out of the storm. And here is the 1983 G.I. Joe headquarters that I picked up. And I'm pretty happy with it. It's a little bit discolored here, as happens now that they're 40 years old, 40 plus years. And it's missing a chair for the computer system down there. Yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with it. As you guys already know, I already have quite a few of these. And there they are there. Yeah, just really, really like them. And always look forward to adding another one. By far, it's probably my favorite G.I. Joe base. Just because of the detailing and how realistic it is. And the overall layout is just excellent for playability for kids and for adults nowadays. And of course I got one of these for Christmas, 1983, like I've already told everybody. Yeah, one of the favorite things about it is the beds, the prison beds, just the way they're sculpted, and the jail. And one of the funny things I saw on it was a decal. It has a caution decal on the door down there. And so the kid that had this back in 83, they decided to put the caution decal on the jail. So maybe a pretty smart kid, because he knew that Cobra was pretty dangerous. So you should use caution when you're around them if you walk in front of that cell. And yeah, I remember that as a kid when I looked at this thing, that you know, maybe sometimes I would put some of the decals on different spots than they were supposed to go. And as a kid, we would do that. And for example, here, the G.I. Joe logo, the main one, it's supposed to be down here, as shown on these ones. But it's not. It's over there, because the kid wanted to have it on that armor piece on the end there. So I like that. It just reminds me back then, and, you know, kind of like, it's my toy, it's my vehicle, I'm putting the sticker where I want. I like to see that on these old items. Gotta go find Iceberg. Said he was going on a recon patrol. He hasn't been back in a few hours. I think he's out way past the marker, and I don't like it. Haven't had radio contact in about a half hour. It's not getting any better out here either. Wait, I think I see him. Iceberg! Iceberg! Is that you?